Pancakes, waffles, pancakes, waffles. What to pick? Why is no one talking about French toast? That's right, guys. Today we're leveling up the humble French toast with 3 amazing recipes. Our first will be an apple pie French toast, topped with warm spiced stewed apples and pecans. Next, we'll have a Panko Crusted French Toast with caramelized bananas and Nutella. Then, we'll have a Tiramisu French Toast with a coffee-infused custard, topped with a mascarpone cream, and all dusted with cocoa powder. Yeah, so, without any further ado, let's get into this. All right, guys, before we even get started, I just wanted to point out the fact that for all 3 of these recipes, we're going to be adding about 10 or 15 more minutes, and for the amount of additional flavor you're going to get out of it, it's a no-brainer. All right, start by cutting around the core of an apple, and then slicing those quarters into slices about this thick. Then, optionally, just chop up some pecans into pretty chunky pieces, because this will add a ton of extra crunch to the final dish. Next, just throw your apples in a pot set over a medium-low heat. To this, add a tablespoon or about 13 grams of brown sugar, half a tablespoon of lemon juice or 7.5 grams, half a teaspoon or about 1.5 grams of cinnamon, and 3/4 teaspoons or 2 grams of cornstarch. Then just mix everyone up, and note that it'll actually start off pretty dry, but as the apples cook and release their natural juices, it'll create a sort of apple caramel. Then when there's about 3 minutes left, throw in your chopped pecans just to warm them through. Once the apples have gotten a bit more mushy, but still keeping a bit of that crunch and are covered in this caramel, they're ready. All right, now let's talk French toast. For the custard, you want to start off by cracking 2 whole eggs into a bowl and add 2 egg yolks. To this, add 1 cup or 240 grams of milk, 1 tablespoon or 12 grams of white sugar, 1 teaspoon or 4 grams of vanilla extract, and a half teaspoon of ground cinnamon. Finally, go in with 1/4 cup or 30 grams of flour. Now, I know this part is a little unconventional, but adding the flour makes everything a bit thicker and helps adhere to the bread. So just mix everyone up until nice and homogeneous. Now, for arguably the most important part, the bread. I decided to go with a beautiful brioche loaf. I also opted to get mine uncut so that I can pick exactly how thick I want it, which, by the way, is about 1 inch thick. But look, you know what? If all you have is white bread, pre-sliced, doesn't matter. Use whatever you have. But this really maximizes the flavors. Now, just throw about 1 tablespoon of butter per French toast in a pan set over medium heat, and take your beautiful slices of toast for a swim. Once properly coated, just throw that right onto the pan. Now you want to cook your French toast low and slow until it forms a beautiful golden brown crust on both sides. Once golden brown and delicious, take it off the heat onto the plate and pile on a huge mountain of those apples. And finally, just drizzle a nice healthy glug of maple syrup. All right, guys, and there is our first version. Oh my God, this looks so good. Let's give it a taste. Wow, crisp, tart, cinnamony apples play perfectly with the French toast. Considering how little technique is needed here, or real effort, you're cutting an apple, you're throwing it in a pan with a couple other ingredients and letting them just go for a little while, and throwing it on some French toast. but your French toast will legitimately go from like down here to up here. I'm gonna get off screen and finish this whole thing before I start filming the next one, but for you, let's just move on to the next one. All right. And our next one starts with the banana. Simply just peel your banana and slice it into little pieces like this. Then just add those pieces into a bowl and add 1 tablespoon or about 13 grams of white sugar. Then just mix everyone up. Next, you want to throw about 1 to 2 tablespoons of butter on a pan set over medium-high heat and place down your slices. Cook for a couple of minutes until the sugar starts to caramelize, at which point you just want to flip them over and cook them again. At this point, they'll be a little mushy, but after it's given a little bit of time to rest, the sugar will harden and they'll be nice and crispy. Now it's time to set up our breading station. So you just want to use the exact same dredge as we made for the previous version, but this time throw some panko breadcrumbs into a plate or sheet pan like I'm doing here. And using the wet hand, dry hand method, just dunk your bread into the pool of delicious custard, then over to the breadcrumbs and cover completely. Now for this version, you want to throw on a good amount of butter because, we have to fry the breadcrumbs. So throw some butter in there, and once nice and melted, just throw in your bread. Once again, just cook until nice and golden brown on both sides. So to plate this one, it's super simple. Just throw your bread onto a plate, topped with your beautiful, now crispy bananas, and top it off with some melted Nutella, which you can make by simply throwing some Nutella in a ramekin, putting that in the microwave for a few seconds, and that's it. All right, guys, here is version number 2, our beautiful Panko Crusted Caramelized Banana and Nutella French Toast. Cheers. Oh, I can already tell this one's gonna be crunchy. That's wow. I love this, and the reason why is because by adding the panko breadcrumbs, it's actually pushing it a bit more towards the side of not so sweet, whereas the other one that we just had was, nothing but sweet. And this is evened out with the caramelized bananas and Nutella, sort of. Yeah, so this strikes a beautiful balance, and then the crispiness from the panko breadcrumbs. Wow, wow, wow. Guys, this one is highly recommended from me, but I am warning you, this guy is quite a bit more dense, so you won't be able to have too many of these, but I mean, the flavor, wow, wow. All right, let's move on to the next one. Now, since our next one actually requires us to make a mascarpone cream, it's important to note that this needs to be made at least 1 hour in advance. All right, start by adding 2 egg yolks and 1/8 of a cup or 25 grams of sugar to a bowl. Then just whisk everyone up until the mixture starts to get a lot more pale and the volume roughly doubles. Next, whip up about 90 grams of cream and another 1/8 of a cup or 25 grams of sugar until you get soft peaks. Now look, I'm using an electric mixer to whisk all this stuff, but you can absolutely just do this by hand with a bit of elbow grease. I mean, if an old Italian nonna can do this by hand, so can you. Now to this, add 1/2 cup or 113 grams of mascarpone and mix until nice and incorporated. Then just combine both of your mixtures, but do this carefully because we don't want to get rid of all the air we spent so much time getting into all this. Then cover and let set in your fridge for at least 1 hour. Alright, assuming it's been an hour, throw some butter in a pan set over medium heat and start dunking your bread in the mixture. Now, this mixture is slightly different. Instead of adding 1 cup of milk, it's actually 1/2 cup of milk and 1/2 cup of a nice strong coffee. Then, you know the drill, just toast on both sides until nice and golden brown and delicious. Then carefully deposit these perfect bad boys onto a plate and top off with that life-changing mascarpone cream. Now, if you want to be super lazy, no problem, just throw on some of that cream right on top and go to town. But if you want to be a little bit more extra, you can do like I did, just throw it in a Ziploc bag, cut off the tip, and pipe it on. And finally, dust everyone with some cocoa powder. All right, guys, and here is our third and final variation, the Tiramisu French Toast. Yeah, I've been waiting for this one, so I'm just gonna dig right in. I'm about to piss off a lot of Italians, but this is better than tiramisu. There, I said it. I said it. I said it. Because, I mean, let's face it, the best part of tiramisu is that mascarpone cream. And we just took French toast and just doused it in that. This is unbelievable. Stop whatever it is you're doing and make this right now. Right now. This is easily the best French toast I've ever had. And look, if you're a fan of that coffee tiramisu thing, this is going to knock your socks off. I'm gonna go enjoy this off camera, but in the meantime, you guys enjoy some B-roll. All right, guys, there we have it. 3 amazing ways to spice up French toast. I mean, look, I say this all the time, but it's crazy to me just how much additional flavor you can pack into something by giving like 10 or 15 minutes of your time. It's crazy. So look, stop what you're doing, get out there and make one of these for yourselves. Whichever one you pick, I promise you won't be disappointed because they are all game changers. And let me know down below which you think the best one is. So guys, thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I really appreciate it. You guys watching all the way to the end means the whole world to me. And if you liked the video, give it a like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next week. Peace!